Today we're going to be making a Slovenian-inspired version of mulled wine that only uses 5 ingredients for those of you that don't have a gigantic spice cabinet, so you can still enjoy the holiday spirit. Let's get to it. So to start with, I'm just going to slice up our fruits. This is like a different kind of orange, by the way, more of like a blood orange. It's called a cara cara. Anyway. So I'm gonna open this bottle of wine. And then step into my office. So I've seen a lot of people get angry about how people make mulled wine. So I'm taking their advice. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do about the first third of the bottle. We're gonna pour that in there. We're gonna mix in all of our other ingredients with it. And we're gonna let it boil a little bit with the first third of the wine bottle. So this way we're gonna release all of our flavors from our spices and our citrus while not boiling off all the alcohol from the wine. Because otherwise, why are you using wine to begin with? You could have bought less expensive grape juice. So. Next, I'm gonna use honey as our sweetener here. I think it'll play really well with the citrus. You can also use maple syrup or brown sugar. I tried this yesterday and it was very tart. So I think I'm gonna do 2 big tablespoons of honey here. And also taste your wine before you do this. This one was quite tart to begin with. And then adding the citrus, is gonna make it more so. It's like the one useless kitchen implement that's only good for one thing, the honey spool that is actually kind of good to have. It does its purpose really well. How much of the spices we're gonna use? It's gonna use all of it. Since we're only using cinnamon and cloves here, I figure we wanna use as much of them as possible because they're gonna be the only spices providing flavor here. I'm gonna save the best looking slices for the end so we can garnish our beverages with those. Just using a whisk for now because I wanna get that honey off the bottom and mixed into the wine. So you can see it's just simmering along the edges there. Even if it's just doing that, you're already losing alcohol because the boiling point of alcohol is lower than the boiling point of water. It's 170 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's okay, we expected to burn off most of the alcohol at this stage. Just make sure once you add the rest of your wine, you want to keep the temperature as low as possible while also heating it up. Let this boil for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So you can see now the lemons are kind of being desiccated. It's a good SAT word. So this is nice and spicy now. We let it simmer for about 10 minutes. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it off the heat because I'm worried if I add the wine straight to that, the residual heat of this is too hot right now. It'll boil off the alcohol from the rest of the wine. So I wanna let this cool a little bit. I'm gonna let this cool down to a little hotter than room temperature. Then I'm gonna add the rest of the wine. We're gonna put this on the lowest setting it can go and just gently, barely warm it up, right? Because we got the flavors all in here. We just wanna impart them into here. All right, I let it cool off, tasted it to make sure it wasn't too hot on the tongue. Now it's ready for the rest of our wine. Let's try and stir this a little bit, get the flavors to mix. Let's see what that tastes like so far. It's good. You just need to be warm and really good to go. Just remember, you see steam or the slightest bit of bubbling, you take that off the burner. So I noticed there's just the slightest tiny amount of steam coming off there, so it's done. There's a lot of little bits of citrus kind of floating around in it, so I figured we'd strain it. Cinnamon stick. Make it look classy. Don't worry, I didn't forget about you. Bottoms up. Wait, I've never seen your ID. Yeah, just right. You definitely need that honey. If you don't add the honey, it's gonna be very tart. It's pleasant. It's not too spicy, you know, since we didn't have a lot of spices in there. So it's kind of mellow, deep, still dry. It just reminds me of a campfire. It just makes you want to sit up next to the fireplace, read a book. Happy holidays to you and yours, and we'll see you in 2022.